first of all, let me ask you this question, because there's a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, that some scientists are trying to figure out a way to block the sun to try to slow down global warming.
Yeah, it's a measure of the feeling of desperation that some of them feel.
Are they really thinking they could do that?
Well, some of them are seriously proposing, and I think it's completely nuts.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people just aren't educated enough, and it's because a lot of the information is kept from us, because a lot of people in power don't want us to know.
Could a strange substance found by a Southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention.
People say the government is up there in airplanes spraying all kinds of chemicals to change or manipulate the weather, leaving what you see there, and they call that a chemtrail.
Well, they say the government is dumping chemicals on us to control or manipulate the weather.
And they say the unusual-looking jet trails in the sky are actually chemical-laden chemtrails.
They say when you see those jet contrails in the sky that don't disappear, that's proof that the government is using planes to spray chemicals into the atmosphere to manipulate or control the weather.
Is the government spraying dangerous chemicals over us from planes?
In theory, it wouldn't cost that much to fly planes up and disperse sulfur into the stratosphere.
This phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time.
Weather modification is a growing trend both here in Northern California and around the world.
I was a television weatherman for 20 years. These chemtrails are absolutely required to impact whatever weather event they were designing.
Government officials in Russia have been experimenting with cloud seeding for years as a way to manipulate the weather.
The idea of cloud seeding is intuitive. It seems like it should work. But it's the scale of it, the size of it, that makes it so difficult.
Weather is the perfect weapon because if you control the weather and create problems, you can just blame it on God. You can blame it on nature.
Dr. John Holdren has agreed to serve as Assistant to the President for Science and Technology and Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy.
My personal opinion is that we have to keep geoengineering on the table. There are a variety of schemes that have been discussed for geoengineering. A classic example is injecting reflecting particles into Earth orbit that would deflect some of the sunlight that would otherwise be warming the Earth.
The big question right now really is, should we do research in the open atmosphere? And I'm somebody who advocates that we do such research.
I researched the subject of geoengineering, which seemed to describe exactly what I was seeing in the skies above, which was solar obscuration.
Typically, what you will see is a trail that does not dissipate. It lingers after an airplane is seen emitting this trail.
This next story is so unbelievable, we didn't think it could possibly be true. But after receiving thousands of records and declassified reports from the Army, it's confirmed that during the Cold War, the United States military conducted secret tests on unsuspecting people in the city of St. Louis.
America did have an offensive biological weapons program. It was during the height of the Cold War, and it could be released in an open area, probably disseminated as an aerosol plume.
Millions of people at one time or another during the 1950s and 60s were inhaling the biological or chemical agents that the Army had been spraying.
I got sick, my wife got sick, my daughter, everybody that lived here got sick.
Everybody in the whole town came down with like a flu, only it was a really hard flu. It didn't last like 7 days, it lasted like 7 weeks to 2 or 3 months.
Had a significant amount of military aircraft flying over the home prior to this happening.
Every day almost, slow-flying bombers, helicopters, all black in color. And we kind of thought maybe it might have come from them.
They let off things in the air all the time here. Testing, you know, there's testing done.
So today, on behalf of another generation of American leaders and another generation of American citizens, the United States of America offers a sincere apology to those of our citizens who were subjected to these experiments to their families, and to their communities.
What we've been finding is aluminum, barium, other toxins in the fallout.
This should be very acid, and I'm getting 10 times higher than expected. There's something really wrong here.
I mean, these are way off the charts of what people should be breathing or what's coming down on them.
We're covering an issue called geoengineering, and it appears that these programs have already been deployed.
Don't you feel better when you stand up and fight than if you crawl down in a little hole and go to sleep?